Get ready. Hey! Good. Great. Hey! Good. Great. Hey! Very good. Great. Hey! Good.
you